3 years ago, Derek finally secured the promotion he had been chasing for half a decade, stepping into the high-stakes role of senior software architect. His salary jumped from $92,000 to $128,000, which was a 39% raise that felt exactly like winning the lottery. He remembers the exact moment his manager told him the news, while they were sitting in a glass conference room on the 14th floor, and he was thinking that this was finally it. And this was the moment when everything changes. He believed he was finally going to feel comfortable, and he was finally going to save real money, and he was finally going to stop living paycheck to paycheck like he had been doing since college. That was 3 years ago, and today, Derek makes $141,000, which includes another raise on top of the promotion, meaning he has increased his income by 53% in 36 months. And somehow, as impossible as it seems, he actually has less money in his savings account today than he did before he ever received that big promotion. He checks his bank balance more anxiously now than he did when he was making only $92,000 a year. He feels more financially stressed, not less, even though he works the same hours and earns dramatically more, yet the metaphorical hamster wheel seems to spin faster than it ever did before. Derek does not actually have a spending problem in the way that most people usually think about spending problems, because he does not go out and buy luxury watches or lease expensive sports cars. He simply upgraded to a nicer apartment in a better neighborhood for $800 more per month, and he got a new car to match his new title for an extra $350 every month, and he joined a fancy gym for $160 per month instead of the $30 place he used to use. There were better restaurants, better clothes, and better everything. These were small upgrades that felt earned and felt appropriate, and felt like the natural reward for working hard and advancing in his career. Each upgrade made perfect sense in isolation, but together they consumed every single dollar of his $50,000 raise, and then some. Derek did not actually get richer, he just got more expensive. And the cruelest part is that he now needs his higher salary just to maintain a lifestyle that does not even make him any happier than his old one did. He is trapped at an income level he cannot afford to lose, working to pay for a life he upgraded into without ever consciously choosing it. My name is Kyle, and I spend way too much time thinking about why earning more money almost never translates into having more money. If you have gotten raises over the years but feel no more financially secure, or if you look at your income and your savings and cannot reconcile how those two numbers exist in the same reality, then make sure to hit that subscribe button. What I am about to show you is a calculation that most people never do, which is a way to measure exactly how much of your life you are trading to maintain lifestyle upgrades you barely even notice anymore. I call it your lifestyle inflation hourly rate, and once you see it, you will never look at treating yourself the same way again. Here is the fundamental problem with how we think about raises and lifestyle upgrades, because we measure income and annual salary, but we experience spending in monthly payments. This mismatch is not accidental. It is the core mechanism that allows lifestyle inflation to consume every raise before you even feel the benefit. When Derek got his $36,000 raise, that number felt massive and transformational to him. But when he upgraded his apartment for an extra $800 a month, that felt small and manageable because he thought that $800 a month was nothing compared to a $128,000 salary. Except that $800 a month is actually $9,600 a year, which means his $36,000 raise just became a $26,400 raise with a single decision. But it actually gets much worse because we really need to calculate exactly what that $800 costs in terms of hours of Derek's life. Derek works about 2,080 hours per year, which is the standard 40 hours per week for 52 weeks. His gross salary of $128,000 means he earns about $61.50 per hour before taxes. But after federal taxes and state taxes and payroll taxes, his effective take-home is actually closer to $42 per hour. That $800 apartment upgrade costs him 19.5 hours of after-tax work every single month. This amounts to 228 hours per year, which is almost 6 full work weeks per year, not to build wealth, or to save for retirement, or to create options and freedom, but simply to maintain a nicer apartment that he barely spends waking hours in because he is always at work. Derek is not paying $800 a month for his apartment upgrade. He is paying 228 hours per year of his life. Every upgrade has a conversion rate like this, and almost nobody calculates it before they commit. The gym membership is not $160. It is 3.8 hours of monthly labor, or 45 hours per year, just to access a fancier treadmill. The car is not $350 more per month. It is 8.3 hours monthly, which is 100 hours annually to drive a vehicle that gets him to the same places his old car did. When you add up all of Derek's lifestyle upgrades and convert them to hours, he is working approximately 480 extra hours per year compared to his pre-promotion lifestyle. That is 12 full work weeks, which is 3 months of his labor every single year, going exclusively toward maintaining upgrades that felt small when he first made them. This is where it gets really interesting, because the lifestyle inflation hourly rate reveals something that gross income and net worth calculations hide. It reveals the true exchange rate between your life and your lifestyle. Let me give you the formula right now so you can calculate your own. Take every lifestyle upgrade you have made over the past few years, every subscription you added, every apartment upgrade, every car payment increase, and every category where you now spend more than you used to, and add up the total monthly cost. Multiply that by 12 to get your annual lifestyle inflation. Then divide it by your actual after-tax hourly wage. The result is your lifestyle inflation hourly rate, which is the number of hours per year you work exclusively to fund upgrades you have made beyond your baseline needs. For Derek, the monthly lifestyle inflation total is approximately $1,700. This total includes the apartment, the car, the gym, dining, various subscriptions, clothing, and all those other various small upgrades. His annual lifestyle inflation is $20,400, divided by his $42 after-tax hourly rate, which means his lifestyle inflation hourly rate is 486 hours per year. But here is what most people do not realize. Because you need to earn significantly more than $1 to have $1 to spend, because taxes take their cut first. That $20,400 in lifestyle inflation requires Derek to earn approximately $31,000 in gross income just to pay for it after taxes. His 53% raise over 3 years was about $49,000 annually, and yet lifestyle inflation consumed 63% of it. The remaining 37% is split between slightly higher taxes on the higher income and whatever is left over for actual wealth building, which in Derek's case is almost nothing. This is the lifestyle creep multiplier in action, because every dollar of lifestyle inflation costs more than $1 of income, because you have to earn the gross amount required to produce the net amount required to fund the lifestyle. At Derek's marginal tax rate, he needs to earn about $152 for every dollar of lifestyle he adds. His $1,700 monthly lifestyle inflation requires $2,580 in gross monthly earnings to support. That is not just hours of work, that is hours of pre-tax work, which means even more life traded for the same outcome. Let me show you how this compounds over a career, because the numbers become genuinely disturbing when you extend the timeline. Take someone who starts their career at 25, making $50,000, and living on a baseline lifestyle that costs $36,000 per year after taxes. They save and invest about $8,000 per year, which is a reasonable and responsible amount for a young professional. Now imagine they get 3% annual raises for 40 years, which is roughly in line with historical wage growth, and by the time they reach 65, they are making $163,000 in nominal terms. If they had held their lifestyle constant, adjusting only for inflation, their baseline spending would have grown to about $73,000, and they would be saving nearly $50,000 per year by the end of their career. Their total accumulated wealth from those 40 years of investing, assuming 7% real returns, would be approximately $3.8 million. That is the uninflated path. Now consider the inflated path, which is the one most people actually take. Every time they get a raise, they upgrade their lifestyle by about half the raise. They get the nicer apartment when they hit $60,000, the better car when they hit $75,000, the premium gym, the meal delivery, and the upgraded vacations as the income rises. By 65, their lifestyle spending has grown to $126,000 per year instead of $73,000, which is an extra $53,000 annually in lifestyle inflation. Their savings rate never meaningfully increased, despite their income nearly tripling, and their accumulated wealth is approximately $900,000, which is less than a quarter of what the uninflated version achieved. The difference is $2,900,000. That is what lifestyle inflation actually costs over the course of a career. It is not just about a few nice dinners or some comfortable upgrades. It is the decade of additional work required to compensate for the wealth that was never built. Every hour of lifestyle inflation hourly rate that you pay in your 20s and 30s multiplies forward across decades of compounding you will never recapture. Derek is not just trading 486 hours per year for his current lifestyle. He is trading the compounded future value of those hours, the investments never made, the freedom never purchased, and the options never created. The math is relentless. Now, you might be thinking that lifestyle upgrades are the whole point, and that you work hard specifically so you can enjoy your life. And what is the purpose of earning more if you cannot live better? And I am not here to tell you that you should never upgrade anything, or that all spending on comfort is a total waste. The question is not whether to upgrade your lifestyle, but the question is whether you are doing it consciously with full awareness of the exchange rate, or whether you are sleepwalking into commitments that will trap you at income levels you cannot afford to leave. The problem with Derek is not that he upgraded his apartment, but the problem is that he did it automatically without calculating the lifestyle inflation hourly rate, and without understanding that he was committing 228 hours of his life to that decision for as long as he lives there. He experienced the upgrade as a one-time choice, but he is paying for it as an ongoing extraction of his time and freedom. The psychological mechanism behind this is what behavioral economists call hedonic adaptation, which is the documented tendency for humans to return to a baseline level of satisfaction regardless of changes in their circumstances. Derek was excited about his new apartment for approximately 3 months, but after that short time, it simply became his normal. The upgraded feeling completely disappeared, but the $800 monthly payment remained. He is now paying 228 hours per year to maintain a neutral emotional baseline that he also had in his old apartment. This is the cruelest part of lifestyle inflation because the pleasure is temporary, but the cost is permanent. Every single upgrade adds to your fixed monthly burden. After the initial glow fades, you are left working the same hours for the same emotional state you had before, just at a higher expense level. Your life gets more expensive without getting meaningfully better, and the hedonic treadmill and the financial treadmill merge into a single machine that converts your raises into obligations faster than you can perceive it happening. Here is how to reclaim your time by calculating and deliberately reducing your lifestyle inflation hourly rate. And the first step is awareness, which means actually running the calculation I described and confronting the number of hours you currently work to maintain upgrades above your baseline lifestyle. Most people have never translated their monthly subscriptions and upgraded apartments and nicer car payments into actual hours of their lives, but when you see that your streaming services and gym and car upgrade and apartment upgrade and dining habits and various subscriptions total $900 a month, which is $257 per year at a $35 after-tax wage, the abstract becomes visceral. You are not paying $900, you are paying 6.5 work weeks of your life every year for things that no longer even register as special because you have already adapted to them. The second step in this process is the reverse calculation, which involves taking each lifestyle expense and asking whether you would work the required hours specifically for that item. Would you work 45 hours this year specifically to access the fancy gym, or would you take those 45 hours back and use the basic gym? Would you work 100 hours this year specifically to drive the nicer car, or would you reclaim those 100 hours and drive the cheaper one? When you pose the question as a direct trade between your hours and this specific thing, the answer often becomes obvious in a way it never was when the expense was just a line item on your credit card statement. The third step is selective downgrading, which is psychologically difficult but mathematically powerful because every $100 in monthly lifestyle inflation you eliminate at a $35 hourly rate gives you 34 hours per year back. Downgrade from the $160 gym to the $30 gym and reclaim 44 hours. Move to an apartment $300 less per month and reclaim 103 hours. Trade the car for something with a $200 lower payment and reclaim 69 hours. These are not small numbers. They are weeks of your life that you can redirect from maintaining a lifestyle you have already adapted to toward building wealth, buying freedom, or simply working less. The fourth step is the most important, which is creating a gap between your income and your lifestyle that you protect intentionally, rather than allowing it to close automatically. This is exactly what differentiates people who build real wealth from people who just earn wealth. When you get a raise, the default path is to upgrade, but the deliberate path is to calculate your lifestyle inflation hourly rate, refuse to let it increase, and redirect the additional income toward investments that will eventually replace your need to work entirely. If you get a $10,000 raise and hold your lifestyle constant, that $10,000 becomes approximately $6,500 after taxes, which, if invested at 8% for 20 years, becomes approximately $32,000. That is what one single year of resisting lifestyle inflation produces. Do it for 10 years, and you are looking at $300,000 in additional wealth. Do it for a career, and you have the financial independence to work because you want to, not because your lifestyle requires. Right now, you probably see yourself as someone who has earned their lifestyle, someone who works hard, advances their career, and deserves to enjoy the rewards of that effort through the small upgrades that make life comfortable. That narrative feels true because it maps onto everything you have been told about the relationship between work and reward. But there is another way to see it. Every upgrade you make without calculating the hours is a decision made in the dark. Every subscription you add, every apartment you upsize, and every car you finance is a commitment of future hours that you are making without understanding the exchange rate. You are not earning your lifestyle, you are trading your life for your lifestyle, hour by hour, week by week, and year by year. And the trade is almost never as good as it seems when you are signing the lease or swiping the card. Derek did not actually get promoted into prosperity. He instead got promoted into a much more expensive trap. His lifestyle inflation hourly rate grew faster than his income, which means that despite earning more money, he now actually has less. He has less savings and less freedom and less ability to simply walk away because he has less optionality in a world where optionality is the only real security. The question is not how much you earn, but the question is how many hours of your life you are trading for things you no longer even notice. Calculate your lifestyle inflation hourly rate, see the number, and then decide consciously whether the trade is worth it or whether you would rather have your hours back. I have spent way too much time thinking about this stuff so that you do not have to. If this changed how you see your lifestyle upgrades, then make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.